Alright, good morning. It's Tuesday. It's time for Man Cave. We are back after a small elections break, even though it seems like it is, the season is not over, but sisi tumerudi. Tunataka kufanya wera. Karibuni sana. Welcome back. First of all, how was your week? Wacha tuanzie hapo.
It was fine, but it was so tensed and so busy because I was doing some job here and there. I was employed as one of the supervisors and what have you. Kwa hivyo mimi ningeomba ikakaa juu.
Sasa iendelee kuingia.
Too long a break from work, right?
Yeah,
too long.
I don't know what for me personally, there's been zero breaks. So I don't know what people are talking about. We've been working.
Yeah.
Right? Kuongea tu chap.
Ai.
No.
Tuko sawa sana.
We're working undercover. Secret Service.
Undercover, yani undercover ya duve ama so kazi yake ilikuwa kwa bed.
Anyway,
just so during this time, which informs the topic today, during this period, different things have been happening, especially in the online space. One, so Mr. Ezra Chiloba attracted a lot of attention in a very serious moment. What one avoid results? I know, lakini for some reason kina Sheila wakaamua sisi huyu jamaa lazima tu
he's the result.
He's the result. Wanatafuta results kutoka kwake. Hence the hashtag
It was a good catch by IBC, I gotta say. I feel like they knew that results were going to take a bit of time, and they were like, how do we keep people entertained, especially the women, you know, because we're the ones watching TV, and voila.
But
nasikia Ezra Bebe Salia alianza IBC akuwa na glasses. The glasses in the election.
The troubling is ulifanya research hadi ukarealize ako ana
glasses before and after.
Yes. Let me tell you something. I think during that election week we discovered one of the things is that social media indeed has a lot of power. It can be used as a very positive force. It can also be used as a negative force. So we keep forgetting that even as we enjoy and crack jokes and we even give selfies to take. When food starts having its own personality, it shows you how much things can switch. To the whole character. Avoid Mimi. You're gonna handle. Why gonna handle? And the time very starts trending and we start saying for positive reasons. But it also shows the power of social media is that it can also create things to trend for negative reasons. I think any relationship, whether it's for the sake of laughter, for the sake of soberness, or whatever issue is, that medium is very dangerous. Dangerous because there's a power to build and a power to destroy. So if you build a relationship on social media, when a boyfriend and a girlfriend on social media, we keep saying that they are very light issues. They can also be very dangerous issues.
But you know, I gotta say, when it came to this whole issue of Ezra, you know, we were first name basis.
I was about to say, like, well, all of a sudden I'm Ezra, you know.
I find it very interesting that you know, you could get Kenyans to talk about anything.
Right. Like
literally anything. Right now people whip out their phones to talk. And right now you're just, you know, chilling in the obscurity of, you know, life, and all of a sudden you're literally Giveri man. My concern becomes if you don't have a strong basis for your own personal relationship, because now, you know, Ezra pali yuko DM yake is late. Yeah, I'm sure everybody is trying to get in touch with him.
Also there are many, and we'll talk about that right now, there are many people who and I'm trying what who account Gina yake. So they try to do
but I'm looking at this in a different way, because many people who are doing things in social media,
they always do the different.
In fact, a different way of looking at things. There are most of them are 90% are shy to face him, to face the person that they are chatting with. So they take advantage of chatting with him or her when they cannot face. At our time, we didn't have social media, so we were forced by circumstance. You still don't have it to face.
Isn't Ezra married?
Yes.
Okay, let's get this one. Okay, this is very interesting. So when you are taking social media as a good tool to do the relationship, I don't think it's the best, because the relationship, as she was saying, it does not have a real character, a real foundation.
And I said here last time, and I don't know when, but I said the deeper the foundation, the taller the building. So social media is very shallow as far as foundation of relationship is concerned.
But you know, Pasi, we have to be realistic. I mean, and I'm always that person who's saying this is 2017 because first, when you're talking about anonymity, there's an app that just appeared over the weekend. Did you see Saraha? And this literally is giving guys an opportunity to be anonymous and send you all sorts of messages. I actually tried it out, and let me tell you, Nairobi Water Company needs to just get Kenyans to hydrate because Kenyans are thirsty. So when it comes to social media, nobody has time to go out there and start meeting people. I mean, there is barely any time to meet people. You're either working or you're at the gym like Willis, or you're you're socializing. And this social media,
the gym going to visit friends, not anything there.
Social media kind of bridges that gap. It's so quick, and why it's becoming it's making fickle relationships. Before you met someone, got to know them, it was more about their personality than how they look like. Now social media, first you eradicate even your personality and get right into how you look at someone. So you look at the pictures they've put, you have a nice bum, you have a nice face, you have nice lips, I'm gonna follow you. So I mean, if that's the reason you're liking me, or because I have 10,000 followers,
I think that's what Pastor says. The problem is, Sheila, is that we're building. Let's once get it clear that let's not look for excuses for relationships. You can't tell me when guys work harder these days, they work get less. And there's kila kitu ni kufanya app ya kucheka, app ya kulia, kuna app ya kila kitu, sindio? So you can't say that guys are working harder or they don't have time or that. They're not making time. They don't value these things anymore. They don't find the process. The process of relationship building is what makes strong relationships. It's a process. It's not relationship is not the result of finding.
And also Roy,
we have lost that part that we used to have, where we used to take time to build relationships.
Before you say anything, everybody does not have time for anything. We create time.
You create it.
If you don't create time to meet the person, then you will never have time.
And now they only have time to create your repair also. Come on, Rebecca. That way they can sit in the salon for 5 hours repairing it.
Please, let me
finish. When you are talking about social media, I'm putting my face there, you see my face, you see my bums, you see my chest, you see my what, you see everything. You have to remember that there is a day which is coming when all whatever you have seen will vanish.
Yes.
Will you still remain loving me?
And that's why digital doesn't work for older people when you have already lost. It works for young people. Now, social media, yes, it does.
But you see why it doesn't work?
It doesn't work. Sorry, because there's nothing to put out there. Let's be realistic about social media. Social media was supposed to bring people together to communicate, and it does that. You have people who are now dating someone who they met on social media, and the person was in Ireland and they're in Nairobi. So yes, it does bring people together. There are people who've been married from social media, but it is also a very dangerous tool if you're going to base it on how you're going to get relationships, because first, people are hardly ever truthful about the things that they're putting on social media. You get a guy will show you Sidri, he has cars, he has jet life.
He has cars,
he works at a hangar.
Yes.
He works at the airport. You guys are showing you jet life, Nini. Anyways, the guy washing the planes there. But the way he set his life sort of makes you. And look, if that's what you're looking for, then it's like you're lying to each other. You come into this relationship after you can go at the things, you're still going to look for other people there.
Just don't trust it
before
you go on. Yes.
You say it's not.
You have to be smart.
No. You've just now said that the characters you're meeting on social media are different. Are the characters you create, the one you wanted to have.
Yes.
Like for example, on social media, Willis is on a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Kupanga hujapangwa.
Ikikuja mtajua.
Haijapangwa.
Ukinunua hiyo pack. That's kuna 6 bags. What the fuck? Now, then you create a certain character. You develop the character you want to be, and then people end up falling in love with the character that you want, not the character you are. Therefore, you can't come and then tell us that it's anything worth reacting or worth developing a relationship.
But let me hold on, because also just to remind guys, you can talk to us using 22422. That's our SMS line, 22422, and the hashtag is for breakfast. But you see, on the flip side is, even if, because I've just done a search here on Google and see Gapple marries social media, and the different people here Facebook glitch leads couple to get married 6 years later. Couple has been married over 70 years after meetings. You happy? Couple finds love on Facebook. Facebook couple ends up married. Ends up married rather. Couple gets married after a Facebook glitch. These are couples who met and fell in love on social media.
Yeah.
So
this is that was at the advent of social media.
No, this is now. This is
now. These ones are going to Ramuka in like next 2 3 months.
Some of these are 20, like you're right. I mean, some of them are 2015, 2017. Well, some are 2017 though. Some are like you're saying 2009.
Yeah, you know, at that time people didn't realize that the value of social media was to tell lies. They were still learning. People are writing the truth. It's sort of like mobile money. People just write their real names. Those days they discovered guy hiki tunaonesha jina yangu zote. Now at that point people were still honest na money. Now they discovered that welcome to the land of beautiful lying. Everyone is not telling the truth. So now you're basing it on the social media we have today. Just like the other one you're telling me has just been developed. What is it called? Saraha. This is even laughing. Saraha. Right? Now that we're in the advent of lies on social media, nothing is 75% is lies. So it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And therefore we should take it more and more as a saraha joke.
Okay, can I just ask, before when people were dating, like you're saying in your times, yeah? No, because I'm using his own words. I'm using his words. In your time, you know, if you wanted to scout a lady, for example, you know, to court her, every single time you go to her, you don't go with your shamba clothes or your home clothes. You look for Sunday best.
Yeah, true.
You understand? Sunday best ni nini? What outfit that you don't? It's like the only one you have. You don't have another outfit. Exactly. You don't have another outfit like that. So every single time you go to meet this girl, she's looking at you like, oh, this guy. Look at him. Ako sawa maze Sunday best. Na ajui ni Sunday best. Wardrobe yako yote inakaa hivi.
No, she doesn't hata hivi kwa kuomba.
Exactly. So now we have taken that old school and put it on social media, and it started with you know, dear auntie nani ama 32-year-old looking for blah 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 on the newspaper, and now it has moved to dating apps and then social media, and now it's just everything goes.
We cannot compare a time where you want to make the best impression of yourself with a time where you're now telling lies.
No,
slowly namwambia ukweli, the socks ina nyingi sana.
My good friend Professor Hamal anasema ukienda na date na msichana first day, hata kama una kitu kwa mfuko unampatia disclaimer. Wise way unaanza kumwambia lakini hii kazi yenye anafanya shida ni kulipa mshahara late. Pewa hata kama una kitu kwa mfuko. So the best thing to do is to be truthful. But I agree with what both of you have a point, and this is what I'm saying. Like Sheila says, before unaenda unangara Sunday best, una show up, maybe unaomba passport, unaenda unamwomba pia pesa, unamwomba unakuja. You're trying to make an impression. Same thing on social media. Digital. Remember when you said how you can rent a life.
That's it.
But I've just said at that time we're not talking about blatant lying. We're talking about weko ambassador wako. You're ambassador of yourself. You're giving the value of yourself. Kama ingekuwa nayo hivi. So what you're doing is you're giving the best representation of yourself,
which is then
you start telling the truth slowly.
Which is exactly what
you start telling like any hisa nilikopa, then the other socks nilikopa, alafu ngoza we share with my neighbor. Yeah. Pole you let her get to know you. But with social media now we're rushing it straight into blatant lying, where you're saying I have things that I do not even have, do not represent, do not borrow, do not have anything to do with. I completely represent myself for things I do not have.
And that, and I want to explain why that
complete lying.
That's I get the reason why things are different now. You see, back then when you're trying to make this impression, before even a guy starts coming to you, he knows in the back of his mind that this one is the woman that I want to marry. So he's trying to make an impression leading to somewhere. You understand? But now with digital, you have to understand the dynamics. All digital is hit and run. Like I'm looking at your picture, the story that I'm going to create is for that particular moment. By the way, you shouldn't be in this picture within 2 weeks. You understand? If within 2 weeks we haven't reached the goal, then if you go and find out that this story is alive, my friend, we've already moved on. I've already blocked you. You're no longer the DM. So social media helps people come together in convenience.
In the world of lies.
In a world of convenience.
Then, hey, lies is a new word called convenience.
Kuna mtu hapa anauliza baada ya kuuliza hapa
kuna uongo. We used to exaggerate, not telling lies.
There's somebody on 2242 who is asking us to produce the marriage certificate of Ezra Chiloba.
Oh, for real? He's not married?
Is when they can move forward.
Let me
2242 is the number. I can keep talking to
social media has contributed a lot in people being unfaithful as far as lying is concerned. Because once you lie, you are not yourself. You will stay in another world where you don't belong.
Coming back to the truth is very hard.
It's very hard because truth hurts. It hurts. So I'm talking to people who are using social media as one way of getting involved to one another. Speak the truth.
That's how you end up with one follower.
That's okay.
I don't need
two follower.
I just need one follower who is genuine.
You know this guy likes condos, so of course.
Unataka tu mmoja.
Kwanza hata wakija wengi hawatengenezi borea ataenda kupanda naye.
Uko social media?
Yes, I'm in social media.
Uko na followers ngapi?
I think wengi.
Kawa tano hivi. Because social media, the key word there is social.
Can you ask him the first thing we did with him, how many followers we have?
Yes, many. Several.
But the truth is,
go to social media and see what I do in Churchill. I have followers. I have many. Come to church and see condos.
Wanaongea kama kondoo.
Don't put words in their mouth. Yeah?
But here's the thing, social media was there to help people come together.
But what I'm saying is, let's have it and have truth.
But you know, Percy, let me say something, yeah? You know, back in the day, the day you're talking about, before social media, I mean, you're saying people were more truthful, when I finished high school, when you'd go to, church and, because that's where you're spending most of your time, you'd find like a lot of guys would come to church to look for girls.
Right.
These guys have no interest in the church. They're literally coming to look for good girls. So, what's the difference between that and social media?
Let me tell you the difference between that. You know, those guys used to come to that church to look at it as an avenue for entry into a relationship. There's a difference between an avenue and a gap. Wait, it's not a gap. The whole social media is not a road. It's also a destination. If you exist in a world where there are lies, we're not saying that you enter by lying, you enter the relationship through a lie. Yes, it's a road where you start by lying, but the destination itself, the whole entire relationship is built, as Pastor is saying, out of lies. For example, as we said again, if I wear my Sunday best to impress a woman, then I am starting by trying to exaggerate who I am to get to know her. Once I get to know her, the relationship is built out of the experiences we share. It is not built out of another lie, then another lie, then another lie, then another lie. The problem of social media is you guys end up meeting people, building relationships off the images they're creating of themselves. The guy is not that funny. That guy is just searching for jokes in another place for 3 hours before he cracks every joke he cracks. He's not naturally humorous. But because you don't spend time with him, you're going off the guy you've met on the handle. It's the relationship you're having with the work he's doing to create that image. And also, so what is impressing you more is the personality he can build. Not who he is.
If it ends up getting married in that way,
in the bubble of lies,
then in the house, the lady will be having her phone, you will be having your phone, because you continue lying other people when you are still together. When you give birth to a kid, you still buy the lie. It's an outcome of a lie.
Willis, I love the direction the conversation has taken, because we live in a situation where couples usually have their phones to their hands. Isn't that the truth? Look, okay, now coming back to, look, here we're not saying it's good or bad. We're just having a conversation about social media is helping people come together. Roy said that when you meet someone, oh, he's lying to you, he has jokes, and then you know, and he continues lying to you until you get married. Pause.
No.
You need to understand how social media works. Yeah. First, you meet the person on digital. You know, they're liking all your pictures, they're making sure that, you know, I'm in your radar, see me. Then you see them. Then, of course, they slowly progress from Instagram, which is, or Facebook, which is outside digital, to more personal space, which is either WhatsApp, or you give them your number to call you, or you know, right there is where the lies start to stop. Because as soon as we meet, hold on, once we meet, you're trying to meet that persona on digital, and chances are, if you ask most people who've tried to date on digital, chances are the persona you have created on digital is not even a third of who you are. So you've created such a larger than life personality.
20%.
When the lady or the guy meets you, immediately filters kwanza madem. By the way, lazima tuongee story. Una meet them, ama chali, ameka filter, and the moment you meet that person, you're even like, excuse me, I came here for data. Could you tell me, have you seen this guy? No, that's me.
Let me tell you a problem. Willis, this is where I think we're losing it here, Sheila. Yeah? One, a person who creates good at creating a fake impression of themselves to that extent that they build it securely enough is a very dangerous thing.
Yes.
A person who can create themselves, completely create a new human. He creates a new human being to the point that anakudanganya kona gari, even him is looking for the keys with you.
He even has a plane. He
even starts believing his own lies. He's looking for the car keys himself of the car that he created on Instagram, right? But my point is that even as you meet that person, not only is he dangerous already in existence, but because this person has built such a strong impression of themselves, you yourself, when you give them a second chance, I'm just saying there's a chance that the filter will create to say, you still remember the character you're in love with. So when you're seeing this person, you're meeting them, but with the facade of, I really like this person on Instagram, I really like this person on WhatsApp. That starts clouding your judgment. We're just saying if it's strong enough, not all situations, it will start clouding you. Now you start clouding because you're obsessed with a person. There are people even till now, you meet them physically, you're not impressed.
Right.
But because you like what their character is, so much of the
so you're trying to look for it.
You're looking for it and forcing it to exist within this person.
When social media makes us meet, now we have met.
Unfortunately.
And we get married. Okay? Should we continue?
Communicate through the same
because already you have met. Yes. And social media is for relationship. Right? We have already met. Should we now continue now looking for others, or should we now start creating and making foundation for our future?
First, let's read some messages. Yes. We'll come back in.
Let's get so. Kuna mtu hapa reach out to pastor on a totally unrelated matter. Nasema, please nataka niombe niuze plot yangu. Na akasema ni Karanja.
Karanja nitaiuza na 10% to later.
Social media has contributed, but the ones using social media, it is last, and it has led to so many breakups. This is Martin from Embu. Citizen TV, 99% of Kenyan girls are easily won by lies. They hate the truth. That is Moturi Evans, and he's from Kisii. Somebody says, if indeed Chiloba is married, then that's a good thing, because we as Mpango are candles. That is where our work begins. Remember, we do married, not single. Drops mic.
Wow.
Mimi anasema Mankush, nataka kusikia ukiongea please. I think ni fan wako. So that is just some of them. Remember, you can talk to us using 22422 is the SMS line. Is it true that there's a thing going, I call them Instagram babes, right? So they have this accounts, wameenda ka photo shoot, picha ziko hapo hivyo, siku hizi naona hapo sijui weka tuma pesa, sijui premium nini. Alafu after hivyo ukiwa meet, like they're saying, it's not working. They're not out for a relationship. So if you have a picture of jet, na wewe ni mtu ana clean to your jet, ama kwa hanga hapo nini,
unapita tu
from 38B,
yes, na pengine ukope ka 10,000 umpeleke pahali, story measure hivyo. So is it legitimate?
Now my question now starts from there. What next?
Exactly.
Yeah. If we are building a relationship which will last forever,
so it is not for building a relationship.
If it turns out for the joke, then we to a kazi marry me na hang.
But my question is, are there some genuine cases like
my God, guys,
they meet and
less than 10%?
With you.
From a 10%, you're confused, pastor.
Oh yeah, you're the
To be honest, when it comes to digital, I know we've spoken about social media as a as a tool to help people get into relationships. That wasn't actually what social media was created for. It was more about connecting with individuals. So there's a question Percy asked. Okay, if you're dating and then you meet the person and you get married, do you close your social media account? There are couples right now who are not even talking to each other simply because of that question that you asked. We are not closing our personal accounts. Social media was there to connect with the world. Think about it like this. Every single time there's a breaking story, where do you see it first?
Social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
So it's not only about relationships. And someone there has pointed it out very well. If you're going to social media to look for love, you're crazy.
You're a mad person.
The only thing that thrives on social media is lust. Number 2.
Lust and lies.
Lies. And
lies. Lies. That's a better joke sometimes.
Excuse me. The lies part of it, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Why? Hear me out. If most people want to live pseudo lives. You have your normal life, you're doing a 9 to 5, but like the persona you're trying to create on digital, there are people who are super funny, but when you meet them in person, you don't even know that this is the same person. They have a pseudo account and they're just, doing funny things. Yeah. So that person is lying, technically, but they're doing it for, there's no one who's getting hurt in the process.
Created space.
There's no one who's getting hurt in the process. So I feel like the people who are hurting themselves are the ones who are going to digital looking for love, because there's so many predators. You can never know who's behind an account. Someone, and you'll be like, I've seen them on TV. Willis is a nice guy. Willis is the worst. You guys.
This is just an example.
You know Billy Willis on TV. Talk about Bruce Willis.
That's good.
I mean, if she's called a spade, if she's going to admit that now and just say, let's go back and not look at the power of it has to build relationships and accept the truth, then in that case we totally agree. At the moment now you're going to meet this person, first discredit everything you've been seeing.
I feel like
on that page.
It's not even safe to meet someone who you know on social media.
Yes. I think maybe probably also use other people who you know credibly to get to know someone better, right? But I've just said it's really sad because the same medium is very powerful at doing other work.
Yes.
The problem with us is we're not using that medium for positive force. Yes. It has the capacity to do a lot of something that can destroy to that extent. Surely must have the capacity to also build to that extent. Yeah. Only problem is where we went wrong was when we created it. You said you're very creative on social media. It became an art. Yani uongo is a skill. Just like some people made ujinga also a skill. Kwa mjinga sana paka unaona talent yake. Therefore, since it's become an art, this is just an art where people create things, develop things, and that's what they're good at.
But social media has become...
It's very sad, but that's why we're saying when we invest in it sparingly. And I don't think we'll go back to the truth. It will never go back or spin itself back to become the medium.
That's why I'm saying.
Become a medium where we have positive energy to build powerful relationships.
Since there is no organization which is going to control it, we must have self-control. As human beings, I have to know how much am I going to put in social media. If whatever I'm putting in social media does not reflect me, then let me stop, because it will be a lie automatically. But if I put the right thing, then we are going to bring this social media in the right path. But if we're going to go overboard,
and that's where I was going with this. I was going with this saying that if it has a power to build also, right? Therefore, we come to another question. Should I take it negatively if the lady I'm in a relationship with is still doing what Sheila is saying, connecting with other people? Now, that means, should I say, you're doting on me with megabytes? Megabytes zingine.
Nobody says that. This is 2017.
Which animal do they use?
Cheating.
Cheating in a dog.
You're losing to most of our viewers by using
dogging or cheating. Still the same thing.
Oh, doggy.
Okay. Oh, then they know dogs as well. Which is just a nice thing.
Guy.
Means a lot of things.
I have mine which I always go with them in the bathroom.
Not the form of security. Be a doggy and I think, inachunga nyumba. But what I'm asking is, Willis, therefore should I raise havoc when I see the lady I'm in a relationship with having a close friend on social media? Now becomes the next problem. Because it could go down an ugly path.
I gotta tell you something.
Should you?
First and foremost, I like what Percy said. He said that we have to be responsible.
Of course.
Because, I mean, now we're talking about social media, and we're talking about some of these things we're saying, like, should we be upset because our partner is still, is still on your phone? But you forget, even if I'm not on social media, I'm on text. there are people who are still gullible on text message. For example, I'm sure you get those messages that tell you ile pesa tuma kwa hii number. How many people are falling for that text?
Yeah, and they're
so many.
it.
There's another. Do you how old and like I'm looking for someone to love. I'm an American living in Kenya. So many people are falling for that trick as well. So social media did not bring the problem. The problem is individuals. If you're going to come here gullible and just think, oh my God, everybody likes my picture, so they must like me, then there's a problem.
I am asking.
Now, when it comes to relationships, I feel this is my stance on that situation. It's called social media etiquette. You have to understand when to use social media and when not to. Number two, if we came into a relationship together and we all had our digital space and you're okay with it,
that's
not going to change.
But so for example, so if nilikuwa na post pictures booty popping and nini, I woke up like this,
I woke up like this,
yeah,
and then we get married and you're still out there,
still woke up like this,
like my father says, what you're willing to show, you're willing to share. So should it continue? Like, should it continue?
But why should you have the reader mind in the first place? Why should you have the reader mind?
If you're Beyonce,
I'm married to Samson, but I'm still the person who will shave.
Gay.
His head.
Okay. Oh, the head. Kwa sababu shave watu wakanyamaza, unaona kila mtu alinyamaza.
Let me tell you something. Wait. Let's be realistic.
It's full of sinners. The devil is in charge of megabytes.
It's true.
Why you have cut short my point?
The kilobytes natuwa.
No,
the devil of bundles.
Can we just talk about the fact that when you're in a relationship, I think this has always been my point about relationships, and this is where people go wrong. Okay, if you're uncomfortable about a couple of things, say you're uncomfortable about my digital space, like for me, there are people I hang out with, even friends, who I'm just like, I'm uncomfortable. You're always on your phone on Instagram. Could you respect the fact that I'm here? And there are people who are okay with that. Like, I'll walk in, you'll be on your Instagram, I log onto my Instagram, and we're having lunch. We're having lunch, So if you're okay with, because it doesn't only come in relationships, it just comes with just social etiquette.
Particularly in relationships.
That's what I'm saying. Social etiquette. So if in a relationship, like if you see, like these are some of the things that could be a problem. It is very important to raise them rather than keep quiet and assume by now you should know that you should not be on social media, because I also have the right to say my social media, my choice. So if you can't deal,
that's why I'm asking Sheila's expectation, as he said. This is a big question. You said it's a means of connecting. Once you have connected and you have met, you are at that time looking for a relationship. So that time you could wake up like this. Just say I'm like this naturally, feeling blessed by God today. He's about to bless me with 2 more teas or whatever it is. Right? That is how we met. Now that you are in one, is the expectation, we're just saying, is the expectation that you should change a little bit of that behavior because now you're in a relationship.
I think you have to go back to that same.
So as we grow,
priority changes. So if we have met through social media, we have to change our priorities.
Exactly, that's what I'm asking. Exactly.
What I'm saying is, first, let's put it out there that social media is not only a platform to meet bays. It isn't.
But
a lot of people, Willis included, use social media for work.
We know that.
So listen. So that's what I'm saying. This now doesn't boil down to social media. This boils down to a relationship conversation.
And the individual.
Exactly. You two are individuals. Because listen, Jay-Z doesn't have a problem with Beyonce putting herself bikini and being out there. It is her career. Victoria Kimani's music is all about, putting herself out there. So if you're going to date Victoria Kimani and expect her to now start dressing up because now you're dating, you're crazy. It's part of her career.
But asking Sheila, is there a change? Will we expect any change? Let's put it in black and white. Are we expecting any change or not?
Your assumption is that every single relationship is the same. No. That's what I'm saying. My answer, I don't know why you're refusing my answer, because my answer it has to be a conversation in your relationship. You see, Patty might be dating a babe and then they get married. Hold on, Roy. They get married and he's still okay with her putting her bikini pics out. Is it a problem? But you want, when you're in a relationship, I want you to buy a baka.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you guys.
Natural tendencies.
There is a lot of
natural. People are different.
There's a lot of like I always say, it's very good, and I like it when watu wanafungwanga roho kwa SMS. Somebody says, I think a majority of girls age 19 to 27 on social media, number one, are broke. There are people they use websites like nibaye.com, nitumie.com, from airtimes to bundles to being taken out, jobless, but you want your M-Pesa, Uber, taxi funds. You don't want to pick them because they lied in the first place where they live. They have artificial lifestyles. They have a chain of lovers. They date people, different dudes on different days. You take her out and then you're embarrassed because her phone is like a switchboard. It doesn't stop ringing. Sijui Kevo, Sijui Mike, Sijui Nani, and they have no apology.
You need to experience.
Then Malcolm Bahati from Nyali Mombasa says social media is generally there for socializing and connecting to the world outside, but we have specific apps for dating. Not all. So don't blame the media, blame the person.
Yes.
Then just from Kisi says, ladies of today are really after money. They speak of Chilaba, for example, because they understand very well who he is and that his job has a lot of money. But with time, these type of ladies will be cornered. Mtu akasema hapa, Gui is a good thing. It is my nickname and I am Sam Gui. Tell pastor truth on social media doesn't trend. Actually, if you're truthful, people won't trust you. Hi, my name is Steven. I like your topic, but I'd like to ask the beautiful girl, is she married?
Sorry, Nyanza.
Yes.
When you say my social media my sad story about this whole thing is, general, we can't keep arguments. We're not an argument or debate. We can't keep it on a general forum where we say it depends. We would like to have a point of view, a point of where you're coming from and what your expectations are. For an example, I say if it's going to rain tomorrow, you can't say, well, it depends on how God wakes up.
It does depend on how.
Yes, but I am saying my expectation is your point of view. Do you expect it to rain or do you expect it not to rain? So I am asking, I assume with complete stupidity, pretend Roy is stupid, which I know is not possible, but let's pretend. Not humanly possible, but let's just pretend Roy is stupid. And ask, guys, I'm asking a general open question. Do we really expect these kind of people to change? That's just a general statement. It is not 2% of them, according to recent polls. Their last poll show 20% change, 28%. Do we expect people to change once they enter relationships if they build their relationships on these things? I'm just saying generally.
Roy,
nobody's going to find someone, and that's the way they used to operate. They used to post those pictures. Then your expectation is they stop.
No,
sorry. Go ahead. Nobody is born with character. We make character. Habits that we make decide our future. So if you are not going to change your habit, what type of future do you think you are going to have? If you still need a family and you got your wife through social media, what type of a family will you live? What kind of legacy will you leave to your family? So let's use social media. Although once a guy said there that there is no truth in social media, we can bring truth in social media if we need our future to be bright.
I like where he's going. He's actually answered the question I was asking Willis, right? Which is the sense that we're not expecting change. Once you've created a habit of doing this thing, our expectation is not much change. As she has kept saying, well, if you found me doing this, if you found me doing that.
So basically, you broke it, you bought it.
You bought it like that. So don't be shocked about 3-6 months down the road. I could put a new IBC member. He decided to prefer.
Let's talk about a case like this one. Somebody says she didn't leave her name, but she said, I married a man who I got on Facebook. We have kids, but haki hajaacha kupenda simu. He's on the phone, hata kwa table akila, akienda choo, na hata bed ataweka simu only akifeel kulala. I talk, but because I have 2 kids, nimeamua to drive my mind and my kids, na hivyo ndo kumeenda. Facebook men.
Now, how do you think the guy will change and he got you through
that method?
That method. Yeah, it's like you coming to tell me to pray for your husband to stop drinking, and you got married to him when he was drunk.
Drunk, yeah.
So some of these
you talk about someone, and I like the way you've been pointing at Willie.
Yes, some of these there is a problem you can get out of it because you entered into it, but there is a problem you cannot get out of it because you found yourself in it.
But
so if you got a frog,
Sheila,
digital has become when we talk about social media, this is not even just a Kenyan phenomenon. This is just everywhere in the world, and for me, that's why I know Roy has been really waiting for me to say something about like my point of view. And my point of view is that we all have access to social media. It's absolutely free. In fact, now you have kids who by the age of 5 they have Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts, and Snapchat.
When they're born.
Yeah, as soon as you're born, you're ready. In fact, now even those parents open the accounts. Open the accounts for their kids.
Yeah.
You know, creating this situation early. Social media is not something that nobody predicted that this would be the impact of social media. So this is a new phenomenon that we're dealing with. And why I say, you know, I can't come with a solution and say, listen, if you meet someone like this, just be like, no. Because it boils down to, how serious am I with you? If I'm very serious with you, fine. I can raise, if like for example this lady who's like her man is always on Facebook, you need to put some ground rules. If you have to be on Facebook, do it, but you know there's family time. We have to sit down and watch TV together. We have to sit down and just the way we used to do it. Otherwise, you can't just say, put your phone aside. You found him liking Facebook. This is something that even is becoming a social problem. It was a medium, but now it's becoming a problem. But the best way to deal with it, hata kama upatana na mtu unapendana na yeye on Facebook, communication. Having this conversation and say, I don't like how much you are on your phone, and let the person tell you, baby, I'm addicted to this thing, and then you make up your mind if this is the kind of person you want to be with. Don't be tricked. You don't get married on Facebook.
It's gone back down to the traditional one. Here.
Mayo.
That's what it's gone down to.
Right.
The reality is that is a system that builds the most honest means of communication.
Absolutely.
And it will never be replaced.
Right.
Never.
Final comments tukianzia Pastor Kuria.
Well, we have to control ourselves so much. Social media is not bad, but let's show maturity in it. And as far as couples are concerned, I talk so much about couples. Let's not destroy our marriage because of social media. I don't deny my wife to have other friends. No. Cherry Pride said everybody needs time alone. But that time you have alone, you have to remember, I'm there as your husband. That's maturity. So let's not be controlled by social media, but let us control it.
I think first, the most important point you'll probably hear today is, don't be in a hurry to, in fact, it's not safe to communicate with someone on social media and then go out to meet them without some level of security. People out here are bad. So even if the person looks handsome and clean and or beautiful, and I've had all sorts of stories that someone has met someone on social media and took them to their house and woke up and there was nothing in their house and they didn't even know what happened. So you have to approach social media with all manner of precaution. Yeah, the amount of stuff you put of yourself out there will always come back to bite you. I think that's one thing that people forget about social media, is that once you put stuff on the internet, it's there for life. So even if you're not going to social media to look for someone for love, even if you do find that person who you love and they go on the internet and find things that you are doing when you are a bit desperate or immature, it's always going to come back and bite you now. So I feel it's very important to don't share too much.
I've said, I think the reality is, I told you it's very powerful. If you were to tell people to go back to the polls and vote again, some people might vote for Githeri. You know?
For real.
Madondo might come second, and then you have Chapos and the rest coming third and fourth. But what remains is the power that it has. And for me, as I said, the only thing I can ask people to do is that if you decide to meet people or connect with people through this media, remember when you meet them in person, you might have to start again from scratch and not get overwhelmed by the image you created through that social forum. Because it's very easy for that social forum to overwhelm you to the point that when you're meeting someone, you're still attaching what you're meeting to that page.
Yeah.
You have to meet that person and start from scratch. That was just a vehicle to meet them. Now start again.
I think it's also important to note that in the digital...
No,
just to add to that, technology, they've realized that social media, because of that, you're saying you meet someone and you're underwhelmed.
You have to start again.
You know, you're underwhelmed at what they presented. So some people don't even want to start. So what you know, the technology is doing, they're actually creating robots. So taking the Android device, taking the Android app, whatever it is, and putting it inside a robot, because it will never underwhelm you. That's how crazy it is. So it is very important that you embrace social, because it's never going to end. It's not that it's going to expire and then you'll get bored of it. They will keep targeting you till the day you die. So you must be responsible.
All right. So that's exactly where we pick up from. You know, social media love. Okay, it happens, but you gotta be careful. It's a powerful tool, like we've been saying here. But one of my favorite quotes from one of my best movies of all time is Spider-Man, where Peter Parker is told, with great power, comes great responsibility. So even as you use social media, be responsible, have fun, do your stuff, but remember, it is most of the time it is fake. So
they didn't wake up like that.
You should sift and see what exactly it is that you are getting into. But like Sheila said, like we've all been saying, be careful, because people will use it to drive it down a very bad path. Tutakuwa hapa tena next Tuesday tukiongea mambo kama haya, and also be careful, by the way, kuna kitu inaitwa Kibanda Bay, and then muangalie your hashtag, you will see how bad social media can get. Have a wonderful day. Coming up next is Citizen Extra. Use the hashtag Citizen Extra. 2242 is the SMS line. Tukutana hapa tena BS Mankush. Tutamtafuta social media. It's Kwambox, Roy Karuhize,
Roy Bay.
By the way, sorry, I know you have like Coco, but there are some comments here that I must read. The handsome guy in specs, is he married? I can't see a ring on his finger. That Kamboka Chile is cute. Can I get her number? That's Franco from Nairobi. Please nipatie number contact of Pastor Kuria, lakini huyu ni jamaa ametoka Mandera.
That's a criminal trying to change.
Alafu yes, there you go. So pia text bay imekuwa ikifanyika hapa 2242. I wish you a wonderful day.